Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? It's official. Joyce versus Marius Wack. Or not Marius Wack, but Marco Huck. Just got done watching the Dillian White versus Wack fight again. That's why I got Marius Wack on my mind. But no, it's gonna be Marco Huck and Joyce official for January 11th. It's gonna be for that vacant EBU title. And we also know that Joyce is the what is he, the WBA gold champion. See y'all coming up in here. Jake Jerk, what's up? Joseph Brown, salute. Mark Wonderlink says Utah in the house. Dimitri Cowan was good. Macadon won. Travis Dot. Mike Wilkins. What's good, Joe? This is gonna be a brief one, man. It's gonna be a brief one right here. October 4th. What's up, man? Tommy Temper was good. Also want to just speak briefly about this Ultimate Boxer 6 that's going on. Um, 3 3-minute rounds. Tournament taking place tomorrow in Manchester featuring the heavyweights. Uh, so if you're in that Manchester area, you just want to get out, man, enjoy the night, just to see some fights in a like a tournament format that will be completed within the night. I would want to go to something like that. I like those type of they're untraditional, but I like those type of tournaments. Those 1 day tournaments kind of reminds me of the amateurs. B&B boxing was good. He says my Minnesota brethren. All right, so real quick, man. So let's speak on this Ultimate Boxer 6 that's going to be taking place tomorrow. Um, they got a website up, Ultimate Boxer. Boxer spelled with 2 X's. But anyways, it's the 6th time they're doing this, and it's going to be featuring heavyweights: Chris Healy, Jay McFarland. Who else is in it? Danny Whitaker, Jonathan Pilata, Nick Webb, Camille Sokolowski, Mark Bennett, and Chris Healy. Some of these guys have already fought each other. A lot of you not gonna know who these guys are, all right? But Camille Sokolowski is a journeyman on the European side. Um, gives guys tough fights. You can just look these guys up and watch them fight. Some of these guys have, like I said, they fought each other. Nick Webb is a guy. Um, he actually lost to Sokolowski, got knocked out. Um, so he's trying to, some of these guys are just trying to get their careers back on track. Jonathan Pilata is a guy who's undefeated. And I believe who's the other guy I think is undefeated? Mark Bennett, I think he's undefeated as well. Some of these guys I've only seen fight a time or two. Tried to go and do some little research before I went live. Josh Sandlin is a journeyman tough guy I've heard from over there. Only has a few fights, but if I have to pick a winner in this, man, I'm gonna go with Sokolowski. I think he's gonna win this fight. Either him or Josh Sandlin. I had this tournament took place like a year and a half ago or something like that. I would probably pick Nick Webb. You know what I mean? But Quest X Boxing was good, bruh. Y'all go subscribe to my man Quest X Boxing. Unbiased heavy rankings and news. He says there's Danny Whitaker, who's also undefeated. Okay, yeah. So Danny Whitaker is also another undefeated fighter. Chris Healy, man, it's like he seemed like he's fought damn near all these dudes because I went and looked up him, and he's fought Pilata, and did he fight Soko? He fought another one of these guys too, man. So I'm not with some of these guys. I really don't know who some of them are, but majority of the guys I do. But and I want to see if Nick Webb what he can do in this tournament, man, because this will really boost his career back. You know what I mean? So that's real quick. So yeah, man, you guys want to know more about that? Go to ultimateboxer.com. Boxer spelled with 2 X's, and just check it out, man. Hopefully they throw this. Pretty sure the footage will be online sooner or later, so I'm gonna definitely check that out. All right, let me get to this as well. I've seen this really quick. Um, Ronald Finkley, appreciate that super chat, man. He says respect to the heavyweight god, and shout out to my man BFTB. BFTB always giving everybody the nicknames, but shout out to my man BFTB too. Let me see here. So Dillian White expects Wilder to avoid mandatory and become franchise. Although Deontay Waters came out and stated that he will not be he's already said that he won't do this. So just the fact that Dillian White is just putting this out there as if this is some possibility, I don't agree with that, man. And look, Dillian White, man, that performance he just had last weekend was not one of his best. He came in extremely out of shape. Right now, he shouldn't be saying anybody would try to avoid him. Because looking at that guy on Saturday, I don't think any fighter in their right mind would avoid fighting him. Why? Because he's a name. All right, we back. I just fell off, got right back on. So, uh, not only is not only is Dillian White a name, he he also looked right for the picking on Saturday. You know what I mean? And then even in some of his other fights that he had wins in, he's been coming to me, Dillian White has been coming in a little bit heavy. All right. I know what you guys want to say, but Mr. Boxing, he's winning. Yeah, he's winning the fights, but to me, he's been coming in a little bit heavy. Um, and last Saturday really showed. And some people may argue, hey Dillian, it's because you don't got that shit in your system. I know some of you gonna say, but he was cleared. Okay, he was cleared. Okay, cool. But to me, man, it just looked like a fighter just looks depleted. It almost looks like I'll be afraid for his safety going into a fight with Deontay Wilder if he shows up in that state, physically and mentally. What I saw this weekend from him, the interview after, he just looks just down on himself. So why would anybody want to duck him? And the only reason he's been feeling as if he's been getting ducked is because when Wilder and his side was trying to get an AJ fight, Eddie Hearn was using him as as a pawn in this whole thing when we're over here thinking like, what does Dillian White have to do with Wilder wanting to fight AJ? Like, why are you throwing him to us? So then Wilder's like, nah, I want him. I want AJ. I want the king that's over there. You know what I mean? I don't want this dude. I want him. So when he's denying fighting Dillian because he wants AJ, for somehow, some way that turned into he was ducking him. I don't know how that got reversed like that. Somebody in the super chat. Oh, my man 78 Sports TV. He says White going to get toe tagged by the champ soon enough. Salute, bro. You already know. Go subscribe to 78 Sports TV, the general. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure if you're subbed to me, you sub to him, man. Shout out to 78. Appreciate that 10. Um, but yeah, man. I can sit here and rehash this story, man. And some of you already got your mind made up of what you think of this story, man. But the facts are, nobody is scared of Dillian White. All right, just that just sounds crazy, man. Especially when you're coming in out of shape. Um, Now, to his credit, like I always say, he's never going to short you on his effort. He'll go out there, give it all he got, whether he get knocked out or he wins by knockout. Now, there's one thing I will say about him: he has a good, and technically, as far as his boxing ability, I think he has a good thudding hard jab. Uh, I think he's a good body puncher. He seems to have a decent chin, you know what I mean? But he starts to run out of gas. But he's one of them dudes that will at least try to fight you when he's tired. He won't just completely give up or say uncle. I'll give him credit with that. But as far as anybody fearing him, I just don't see why that would be. Um, you know what I mean? So, and Dillian White has had ample opportunities to try to position himself, to put himself in better position over the last couple years. When the Ortiz fight was offered to him, when Brazil came out and said that I will fight you for it, and because this one Brazil was a mandatory, he said, "I'll put that status on the line." The WBC approved these things. They also ordered and approved the Ortiz fight. Then Dillian and his side started bringing up pay-per-view numbers. It just went back to the same BS. Uh, who's a star, and just the same ridiculousness, man. Um, yeah. So, and him saying that Wilder is going to avoid, I don't see Wilder avoiding anything. I see Wilder still wanting to defend that title. Plus, the man has already came out and said he wouldn't do that. So why are we even putting that out in the air? Let me see what else he said in this. He spent hundreds of thousands of pounds in the WBC. I've been loyal to them by fighting back to back top 10 contenders. I fought more top 10 contenders than their champion. Well, okay, Dillian, but at the same time, though, you kind of went your own way. You know what I mean? Like, you fighting Parker is a good fight on paper. I like that fight. But why not fight Ortiz and just put yourself in a better position? Or why not fight Brazil and put yourself in a better position than you would fighting Parker? Nobody's saying Parker's a bad opponent. He just wasn't the right opponent. He wasn't the correct opponent you needed to put yourself in better position at the time. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So, but hey, man, fighting Oscar Rivas obviously has put you in a position to where you get to fight the winner out of Wilder and Fury. You know what I mean? So will Dillian Whyte take an interim fight in between time to stay sharp or just to stay active in the ring? Because they're saying they have to fight him on or before, what is it, February of 2021. Let's say, in my belief, I think if Wilder were to go ahead and let's say he got Fury out of there, and obviously Dillian Whyte must believe Wilder's going to win because he's just talking about Wilder. Let's say he gets Fury out of there, and let's say at a knockout, if Wilder's willing to have a quick turnaround versus Fury like this, coming off the back of the Ortiz fight, I see him fighting Dillian Whyte way before 2021. Because really, who is out besides like a unification fight with Joshua? Who else is out there to take a voluntary defense against? You know what I mean? That the public will be interested in versus just fighting Dillian Whyte now. I think Wilder and them will fight him the very next fight. I'm trying to think like maybe Konowski can bring a nice Polish crowd to the Barclays, probably get that type of thing going. Um, I think Konowski should be fighting on the Wilder undercard coming up here. I think Konowski should give Brazil his shot because Brazil didn't call them out. Maybe something like that, but I don't see besides the AJ thing. I don't see who else. What Ruiz probably throw him in there just based off what has happened with him in the last year, his ups and his downs. Throw him in there. Plus, Ruiz has fought Parker, who's a former title holder. Fought and beat, lost to AJ, title holder, then fight Wilder. I mean, maybe you could do the Ruiz thing, but nah, I think Dillian Whyte is next. Being honest with you, and I will lobby for that. So, nah, Dillian, I think actually, bro, you're gonna get your shot before 2021. I really believe that. If Wilder wins by KO, but if not, they might try to do a rubber match before the end of the year. I'm not sure. But if Wilder was to get him out of there, I think White would be next. Another super chat. Let me go ahead and let me see here. My man Fanon International Boxing Channel. Police. Let me see here. My damn phone's freezing up. All right, yeah, my man Fanon International with the 10. He says, "What's good, Mr. Boxing?" Oh man, just talking about these few little topics, man. The Dillian Whyte thing caught my eye when I was looking at these articles on boxing scene. But that's my opinion about Dillian Whyte, man. He needs to worry about staying in shape and be ready when his number's called. You know what I mean? Because the way he was talking in that Sky Sports interview sounded like a man that is just down on himself. And some people may say, well, he has a good reason to be okay, but he don't sound like somebody that's going to be the next heavyweight champion, man. He sounds like somebody that's probably walking into the slaughterhouse with that type of attitude. Now, style-wise, I know what you're going to say. Mr. Boxman, he has a great left hook. He has highlight reel knockouts with his left hook. Wilder can get caught over that right hand with the left hook. I mean, anything's possible, but you got to be in shape too, though, man. And that's one thing about Wilder. You can talk about you don't like his skill set or whatever, but we know about the KO power, but we also have to bring up his conditioning. He's probably one of the most well-conditioned fighters, period. Yes, he shows spots of when he's tired, but for the long haul of fights, he's usually the most the better of the two conditioned guys when he's in there. He has great stamina, man, with the knockout power to go along with it. My man Ronald Finkley back in the super chat, he says, "Nobody flying in America, realest boxing talk, LDBC." No doubt, man. All right, let me get to this few. Is that it? Let me see. So I covered the Ultimate Boxer 6. Bam, did that. Spoke on Dillian Whyte. Oh, yeah. Huck and Joyce. Let me just say this real quick. So actually I'm watching Huck versus Glowacki right now. Look, man, Joyce, I think, is going to get through Huck. That's going down January 11th. Also, Timothy Moton is fighting January 11th, too. He was the heavyweight from Louisville that was in AJ's camp. He's actually the dude that started the two-time chant at the weigh-in. All right, shouts out to my man, Timothy Mayhem Moton. All right, but Huck and Joyce going down for that what is it? The the vacant EBU title. Okay, I believe Ajay Kabaya was the last fighter to hold that strap. Um, I see Joyce getting a stoppage victory against Huck. Possibly go 12 rounds, but I think he may stop him late, or it might just be a 12-round decision. Just think he's going to just put the jab on Huck, cut him off, be really physical with him, force Huck to go backwards, to go into retreat, survival mode. Huck at his best when he's able to come forward and just let he throws a lot of straight shots. Sometimes he'll settle down and try to use a jab, but he really wants to come forward and let his hands go. I actually thought he could have had a draw against Povetkin when they fought years ago. Movement gives him trouble and a jab. So I think definitely Joyce movement won't give him trouble at all because the dude is very slow on defense. But I do think his jab and just the constant pressure, the power, and just being the bigger fighter is going to win out. If Huck, Huck's been showing up in shape in his fights, man. You can argue that he's long in the tooth, right? He's 35 years old, Mr. Boxing, but shit, Joe Joyce is 34. You know what I mean? Joe Joyce isn't your typical prospect that's coming in at 25 or 23. He's a guy that's had a plethora of international amateur boxing experience, and not just in the tournaments, but winning tournaments, getting a medal in the Olympics, and sparred plethora of rounds with AJ and Brazil and Stavern. Um, he sparred and fought all those guys, man. So he has that on his side, all right? But I think he's the fresher of the two at the pro level, obviously. Okay, Marco Huck has fought well over 300 rounds. You know what I mean? And Joyce is only what 10 fights deep in his career, so I expect him to win this fight, man. Then just um, I want to see Joyce in there with like maybe a Dubois. I know Joyce is looking for opportunities like this where he's winning the EBU titles, right, and things like that, and then he wants to fight a big name. So I know what he wants to do. But if those guys aren't available, man, the UK have shown that they'll come out and support those type of domestic fights. You know what I mean? So I think Joyce and Dubois will be explosive for one because they're gonna be right there swinging leather, big leather at each other, and But I would like to see something like that happen. But let me see another super chat. My man D Style Boxing. You guys go subscribe to my man D Style. Let me see what you guys talking about really quick, man. Get to a few of these questions. Jonathan Rules, what's up? BK Boxing 80 says Nick Webb, who got knocked out. Yep, that Nick Webb. Yep. Boxing Conversation with Reggie Owens, what's up, man? Marquise Johnson. Quest X Boxing says, I wanted to ask you a question since you like the heavyweight expert. Do you think Dubois is legit? Yeah, he showed me some things in the Larte fight, man, because Larte was landing on him. And that's always what I want to see is just when a guy starts to get hit back, how does he react? Does he go down right away? Can he not take a heavy shot? Were things that I was hearing about him in sparring, are they coming to be true? Uh, will he dominate the way he dominated in the amateurs? There's a lot of questions, man. So one of my questions for Dubois was how will he react when he takes some hard leather? And the Larte dude, the dude from Ghana was landing some good shots on him. Not the previous dude he fought from Ghana, but the Larte cat. He took those shots well, man, and he moves his head a little bit better than some of the other prospects. But I still want to see him develop. His jab looks pretty decent. I know he was working with Frank Bruno, you know what I mean? So I like his jab. His inside work seems to be polished. Just want to see more of him, man. But as far as a prospect that I think can possibly be a contender, I think he's passed that test. Now I want to see him against a Robert Helenius, Areola type of guy, at least in the next few fights. You know what I mean? But they might not want to fast track him. I'm not sure how they're going to play his career out. But I think whether he takes 5 fights this year or 2 fights this year, I still want to see him fight one of those guys I mentioned in the at least next year and a half, man. Because you got to put him in there sooner or later and see if he can sink or swim. Unbiased heavyweight rankings and news says he fought Pilata, Webb, and Mark Bennett. Lost all three. Chris Healy, that is, but he's actually tough and bangs. Yeah, and that's one thing about that tournament, the Ultimate Boxer 6 is if you're a tough banger like that, You got 3 rounds. Give it all you got. You know what I mean? And force a fast-paced fight. You shouldn't be going into a 3 rounder expecting to win by decision, man. Like, man, I should get two out of one. Like, you shouldn't be having. I mean, I should win this 2-1 at least. No, you can't go in that type of tournament thinking about that. If I was a guy, I'd be going for the knockout. You can't be going in there expecting to try to get 2 out of 3 rounds. At least I wouldn't train my guy to have that mindset. I'll be trying to finish. Dan the Man Boxing. Hold on, let me. What's good? What's good, Dan the Man? Y'all go subscribe to my man Dan the Man Boxing. And some of you don't have wrenches that I could have swore I gave wrenches to, man. Like Quest X, Dan the Man. I'm biased heavyweight rankings and news, so YouTube is playing with the wrenches. Mala2243 says Whyte needs to lose 30 pounds and get a personal trainer to sort out his eating. And a lot of this Mala probably was because the dude seemed depressed to me, man. I know I'm playing psychologist here, man, but he just seemed depressed. Just his body language. But he eats hearty. I will say that because when I follow him on Instagram, follow his training, and guys will show their food and what they're eating and all that. He does eat pretty hearty, man. Like his breakfast is like big breakfasts, big breakfast and lunch, and you know what I mean. So he's a heavy eater, but he gonna have to get it together at this stage, man. This dude's a grown man at one of the top contenders. He knows what he needs to do to get in shape, or maybe he's having some issues right now, sorting that out. But he better get it together, man. So, because I don't, he shouldn't want to have any excuses. Because this upcoming year, he's going to get his title shot. You know what I mean? It's going to happen, and you got to be ready. Maybe it does happen in February 2021. Maybe it happens. Maybe something happens to Fury where he has to pull out the fight, or let me knock on wood because I don't want the injury. But let's say if Fury to get injured, and they say, all right, Dillian Whyte, you're up next. We'll push it back till March or something like that. You know how boxing works, y'all. Or maybe they probably just will need him in February. End of the day, man, you got to be ready. This is what you do for a living. Like, I haven't heard of Dillian Whyte working at the postal company or the postal office out there in the UK. I haven't heard of him about having another job. I mean, does he have another job? Maybe I'm wrong. Does he have another job? Does he work in an office somewhere or something? Or is he a manager somewhere? Like, I haven't heard anything else. Only thing I know of Dillian Whyte for is being a fighter. So why wouldn't you be ready? I don't understand. I don't understand fighters that do things like that. I remember Bernard Hopkins said a story one time. He said when he would see fighters in passing, when he went up to give him a handshake, you know how guys give you the handshake and a half hug, oh, what's up, bro, like that. He always checks them to just, this is what he said, when he checks them to see if they've been in the gym or not. Ain't that crazy? You got a fighter like Bernard Hopkins who loves to train, loves to stay in shape. He's playing mental warfare when you don't even know it. You guys are just at a gala or at a luncheon or just, when you're not even thinking about it, but his mind is always on defense mode. He ain't in shape. Oh, what's up, bro? This dude ain't in shape. He ain't ready to fight. You got a guy like Vladimir Klitschko. I remember Manuel Stewart said that Klitschko runs businesses and has his own office. He has treadmills and light little hand weights in his office. So how are you out of shape? Not sure how you're out of shape, man. All right, let me get to some more. Um, Dudes kill me with this out of shape stuff, man. Mike Wilkins says Whyte should fight Stephen Shaw on Wilder Fury undercard. It's like, look, man, if you came over here and fought Malcolm Tan, I know some people are like, who the hell is Stephen Shaw? Well, he's an undefeated prospect that just won his last fight against Greg Corbin by knockout. Has pretty good hands, about 6'5", about 245 pounds out of St. Louis. Trained with Cunningham, the guy that trained Devin Alexander. You know what I mean? And Spinks back in the day, Corey Spinks. But look, man, if you come over here and fight Malcolm, the showstopper Tan, he fought him literally, y'all. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm being honest. there were no more than 50 people that were at that fight because that was on the Terrence Crawford and Dongo undisputed card. And it was literally, I think, I can't remember this one, but I think it was either the first or second fight on the entire card, not the televised, just the entire card. You know, some cards have anywhere from 12 to 16 fights on them. So, I mean, yeah, Stephen Shaw wouldn't be a far out of the question, in my opinion. Why not give a guy like that a shot? You know what I mean? Shit, Charles Martin did it with Gregory Corbin when Corbin was a 13 and 0, 14 and 0, or whatever. So, uh, plus, you never know, man. Plus, I'd rather see him fight somebody like that than a long in the tooth Marius Wack. Because how much credit can we keep giving guys for beating Marius Wack? Wack's best years were 2011, 2012, when he was around to that 245-pound range. Now he's 270. You know what I mean? The fights before, why he was like 280. We can't keep giving like the contenders credit for beating Marius Wack. I could see like some up and coming prospects beat those guys, uh, but you know they use guys like Wack to for step in opponents or just what they use them for in Saudi with Whyte. Somebody just to step in against that everybody, well, not everybody, but most boxing fans at least have heard of him because he's been in there with Povetkin, been in there with Klitschko, so, but he got stopped by Martin Bacole. He got beat by Martin Bacole, man. Up and comers, man. So, and I think Spilka got one from him too. Got a decision over him. Let me see. Mike Wilkins says Wilder versus Whyte press conference of the year. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I want to see Dillian White's demeanor around. Uh, I want to see Dillian White's demeanor around Deontay Wilder. I want to see if he's boisterous and outlandish and he's gonna talk a lot of shit. I want to see because I know Wilder was on 78 Sports TV. They did an interview. The last one I listened to, the last one they did. Uh, Wilder said that they've been in the same room with each other. I never knew that. I never knew they'd been around each other. But Wilder said when they were in each other's presence, Wilder didn't even know he was even in the room because the dude didn't say nothing, and he comes off as being incognito. So I'm not sure, man. So Wilder was saying like I didn't know he was even in the room. The dude said nothing, So I just want to see the body language when they're around him. Yeah, I want to see Wilder's body language as well. You know what I mean? I just want to see how that plays out because that plays a lot, man. That plays a lot into it, at least the mental aspect of it. Like, our guys uncomfortable? Does all that shit he was talking? Did he really not mean it when he's face to face? Neutral Natural believes Parker is a recycled fighter. Hey, Ronald Finkley, think you calling somebody out for border wars? Let me see here. My man Blood Boxing in the building, the boxing spreadsheet. What's good, bro? Mala2243 says depression is a beast. It makes you eat a lot as form of comfort. Hope Dillian can get on top of it. Me, I feel the same way, bro. Because right now is not the time where we need a depressed Dillian Whyte. We need that energetic, and I want Dillian Whyte to be at his best. I want him to be in rare form, mentally, physically, verbally. You know what I mean? I want that old Dillian Whyte, man. He's just all negative, come in out of shape, fight lethargic, not upbeat about. He's not upbeat about Deontay Wilder fighting him. It's like, bro, you going almost like he's looking for an out. It comes across like he's looking for an out. You know what I mean? Like if he does lose, well, uh, I didn't think Wilder would fight me anyways. That's why I didn't train because I didn't have the motivation. I thought he'll say he want the franchise. Bro, he's already said, like, why are you even bringing that up when he's already said he's not going to take the franchise position? He shitted on it. So Wilder will be very contradictory if he did that. And I don't think he'll do that to us as fans. You know what I mean? See a super chat. Let me see. My man 913 Boxer. He says, "You one of my favorites, bro. Keep doing your thing." I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. My man Blood says, the pressers will be interesting. So will the face-to-face discussion. Yeah, especially the face-to-face discussion. Because the presser, you can still kind of, there's people in the room. You sit at a long table. There's people in between. You can still talk that shit. But that face-to-face, though, boy, those awkward silences, and you know what I mean? When it's silent and it's awkward as hell, and you can see a dude like shaking his leg, especially when they if you can see like the like their whole body when they're doing the face off. Is he crossing his arms? Is he, fidgeting his hands? It's just, how is he answering questions? Is his voice cracking? There's a lot of stuff to go into that. Is he acting out of character? You know what I mean? Salute to my man. I am ill will. He says, salute, Mr. Boxer. Salute to you, bro. Ronald Finkley says, always bang new media boxing talk on all social media platforms. We are the movement. Indeed. Tone Bangers was good, bro. The box, my man Blood. Blood, I'm gonna call you Blood, bro. I know it's the boxing spreadsheet, man. You Blood boxer, man. But he says Fujimoto will sleep. Me and my whole fan watching that. I'm hyping that kid up down here. Okay, yeah. Fujimoto may make a pallet, man. I think he may make a pallet in the middle of the ring and go ahead and find a nice little soft spot. I see him getting out of there early because he's a guy with a short reach and he stands straight up on the inside. He doesn't even crouch over with his inside work. He kind of stands straight up. It's going to be right in line for a short right hand or short left hook by Dubois. And once he buzzes him, he's going to get him out of there. And Fujimoto is susceptible to get hit with those overhand rights. Huamado, Solomon Haumanu laid him out with one. Sleep. You know what I mean? So, and also I think Dubois does a good job of keeping his distance with his jab. He's been working his jab a lot more in his recent fights, in my opinion. And as long as that kid develops that, um, it'll take him a long way. Y'all know how it is with the jab, man. Jab can take you across the world. You know what I mean? A big right hand take you down the street, but a jab will take you across the world. And I definitely think he's starting to develop it a lot more than his earlier fights. Um, so we'll see. But I'm expecting him to dominate. My man Say Less, Jeff Dream, aka Dream Chasing Boxing, he says Whyte knows he can't beat Wilder. That tough guy talk is cool until you get hit with that nuclear bomb. Mental toughness got to be at 100 for Wilder. Indeed, and that's why that interview was troubling to me. Now I know some may come in here and say, "Well, Mr. Boxing, you were saying all this about AJ, and he won against Ruiz, and you were saying the same thing about his interviews. Yeah, he still won the fight, but I still think some of those things are there." Despite what I think he still won, but uh well, that's a different topic. But this isn't the same Dillian White, this upbeat that you think going to win the fight. This totally different. At least with AJ, he's always philosophical, and AJ always talks about if I lose, and that's how he is. But Dillian White is usually aggressive, uh, hyped up in his interviews, just seem more passionate. Yeah, more passionate. And this guy just looks deflated. And it's like, man, you go in a ring like that against Wilder, man, he he's going to add to that deflation. You gonna fuck around and evaporate, get hit with one of them right hands, man. So it's gonna be some evaporation going on, if anything. But um, yeah, he got to get his confidence back, man. That's why I was saying maybe a interim fight, even if it is against a guy that's considered a bum or whatever, and guys and people will get on you. You got to block us out sometime as fans. Let us talk our shit, but block us out and just say, hey, man, I need some work, man. You know what I mean? So I want to not only just get some work more than just sparring, but I want to get under the bright lights, and I want people's last uh, look at me to be an explosive one, knocking somebody out, going into my fight with Wilder, versus the last time they see me in the ring, I was at my career high, looking, at 271 pounds, looking chubby and fat out there against Marius Wack. And I had to put my hard hat on for that one to scrape that one out. You know what I mean? Because I don't think we need to sell this fight. I don't think we need to do any of that. So, my man Ronald Finkley in that super chat, he says, if DB in the chat, can you wrench him up? That's a boxing head. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I've seen Hey, y'all, and I don't know if I had DB as but if Ronald Finkley is putting a stamp on it, I'm gonna take Ronald Finkley's word, man. Let me see. All right, Boxing Square. Oh, y'all, go subscribe to my man Boxing Square, man. Another heavyweight channel here on YouTube. Does excellent work, man. You know what I mean? He's one of the few guys that pretty much talk about the same exact fighters that I talk about. And also my man Unbiased is also up in here too. And he's another one that does great work covering the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? So there has been some guys that have came along, you know what I mean, since I started doing this about 10 years ago. There are some guys that have came along in the recent years that also do some good work as well. Let me go ahead and give Boxing Squared a wrench. I like Boxing Square. I like his channel. Yeah, Boxing Square says definitely needs another fight, at least for confidence sake. Yeah, man. So Boxing Square has seen it as well, man. It's just don't look like Dillian, man. I want that dangerous Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? That's ready to pop off. That type of Dillian Whyte. Man, I'm watching this Glowacki versus Huck because I'm just watching these fights. Huck is getting ready to fight Joyce for those of you just joining. But this Glowacki versus Huck fight was a pretty entertaining damn fight. This is the 11th round when Huck got dropped for the first time in his career. Ooh, 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 ooh. Stops him. Lays him out on the ropes. If y'all need y'all want to watch a little fight tonight, man, just a little throwback. This one ain't too far back, but go back and watch that Huck versus Glowacki. That was a pretty entertaining fight, entertaining finish. My man DB says LDBC, man down bomb squad. Yes, indeed. My man B&B Boxing says Boxing Squared. I've been subscribed for about 2 years. Good channel. Yeah, you got a real good channel, man. Let me see here. Take a few more, y'all, and I'm gonna go ahead and hop off this thing. Gorgaruga says, I think Whyte tired of chasing Wilder for 2 years. He's been calling him out since 2017 when he won WBC silver title versus Helenius. Okay, he did beat Helenius for that strap, rather. What I thought the WBC should have done, bro, is made him, when he won that fight the winner out of Brazil versus Molina when he won his fight. I believe they fought a week apart. Then Ortiz was the one that was stepping in to get a title shot because it was going into that 2018 or whatever. But look, bro, you say he's chasing him, but that was when Wilder was trying to chase after a fight with AJ. Dillian Whyte was never looked at as like, okay, well, if it ain't AJ, it has to be Dillian Whyte because he does. Nobody's really looking at Dillian Whyte like that. Yes, he was an up and coming contender, but for you to say he was chasing Wilder, I mean, how can you chase somebody that's really not even really have you on the radar like that? It's not like he was super important at the time to where it was like, all right, well, man, you got to be fighting Dillian Whyte then if it ain't AJ. Nah, we just wanted the AJ fight. If it wasn't AJ, then shit, do what you want. Fight Ortiz, fight Brazil, fight whoever, Gerald White, whoever at the time. Yes, Whyte was like one of the mentions, but some fans come across like it had to be Dillian Whyte or nothing if it wasn't AJ. And it's like, not necessarily. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte was still working his way up at the time, man. You know what I mean? At least that's my perception of it. That's the way I look at it, man. But the good thing about all this, all that shit don't even matter. No, well, it does to a degree when we start talking about who was chasing who and ducking who. But they get to settle this in the next year. It's going to happen, man. This fight's going to happen, and it's going to get settled. Neutral Natural says he wants to see Makhmadov versus Joyce. That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. One thing about Joyce, man, you don't have to go looking for him in the ring. You know exactly what he plans to do. It's just a matter of how you deal with his pressure and just how you deal with his pressure, because he's going to bring it. All right, y'all. Let me see here. Let me see another one. Okay, Gore Ruger. He says Whyte said in the post-fight interview he was depressed and in a dark place past months since the Revis fight and UCAT issue, putting on fake smiles for cameras. Interesting. All right, because I didn't listen to that, so I guess I'm right about him being depressed because he looked damn depressed. You know what I mean? And out of it. So yeah, I was right then. Because I didn't watch any of the post-fight stuff, man. But hey, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off this thing. He also says Hearn publicly offered Wilder 5 million after that Helenius fight, and at the time would have been Wilder's biggest purse, I think. As far as the money, I'm not sure about. I knew it was some type of money they were offering him, man. But he wanted AJ though, bro. Like that's the thing. Like yes, White and the money, White, but it's like you can always get a Dillian White fight. But like over here, man, like Dillian White, yes, he's a good fighter, man, but it's not like, oh, you gotta fight Dillian White. Like, for what? Because that's how a lot of us thought about, man, you need to fight Ortiz. Like there was other guys out there. It wasn't like it's AJ where it's like AJ and Fury are the creme de la creme. You know you need to be fighting those two. But then you get away from them, then it's like, okay, then it's the Ortizes and guys like that where you can do any, meeny, miny, mo. Because it's a lot of fans' opinion shit. Dillian White, Adam Konaki, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Especially in the last couple performances I've seen from all these guys. So I think a lot of these guys are on the same level. Now, who will win the fight between the two? I mean, well, you can do a style breakdown, but they're just like the same level to me. Boxing Square says, Mr. Boxing, you see Makhmadov called out Wilder with a $20 million offer. Won't happen, but good profile building for him. Fighting in obscurity in Canada, needs to sign a co-promotional deal. Well, I definitely agree he needs to sign a co-promotional deal. Yes, I did hear about that. Somebody in the chat left that in the chat yesterday. So yes, I did hear about that. To me, it's like they're at the poker table, Boxing Square, and they just pushing all their chips in. You know what I mean? It's like, well, shit, you're a big, hard punching dude. We're going to put faith that you can land one on Wilder. And if Wilder doesn't take it or doesn't even mention us, or fingers crossed he does talk about it in some type of interview, that's going to bring uh, attention to his name, and his name will be attached to Wilder now in the social media realm. You know what I mean? So his name will get out there just based on the fact that he just attached it to Wilder. Now, as far as him getting that type of title shot, uh, look, man, this never happened before, but like I brought up yesterday, Floyd Patterson um, fought Pete Rodemaker when he was the champion. Pete Rodemaker fought Patterson his first pro fight. He won a gold medal in the Olympics, fought Patterson in his first pro fight. They put up a lot of money to make it happen. So anything can't happen. Although that was years and decades and decades ago, but anything can happen. You know what I mean? But I think they need to let that kid develop, man. That's asking a lot. Yes, he's beaten Jonathan Rice. Yes, he's beaten Avery Gibson. And there's somebody else that I always forget that he beat that was pretty solid as far as journeyman level guys go. Somebody else, I always forget, man. But um, I think it's too much for him. I think there's just way too much at this stage of his career. I think you're asking a lot. My man B&B Boxing, that super chat, he says, do you think White should fight Ruiz leading to Wilder? White versus Ruiz. That'd be a good one. If he wants to put it on the line like that, you know what I mean? Because that's another, he put himself in position again to where now that's a 50-50 ish. Man, some people may favor Ruiz type of fight. That'd be some balls on Dillian White's behalf, man. That would be some balls. Because look, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'm managing his career, I want this Wilder title shot with no excuses. So fight a journeyman level guy. I know some people say, Mr. Boxing, but you're all about the best guys fighting the best guy. Well, yeah, I'm talking about if I'm a manager though. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna want my guy to go in there. Now I should think my guy can beat anybody, but that's a dangerous fight though, going into your title fight. Now, if it's a title eliminator where you have to do that to get a title shot, well, that's one thing. But if you already got a title shot lined up, you might want to go the Pulev route, man. You know what I mean? And go call Kevin Johnson up or something, or go call Sam Peter up, or just don't fight at all and just continue to train. But if he were to fight Ruiz, I have to give him his props and sign me up to watch it because it's gonna be a good fight. But you know, Ruiz should be like one of your title defenses. Not I'm gonna warm up with him. If he does that, man, if he were to win as well, shit, man, I'm gonna buy me a Dillian White T-shirt because that's I don't know, y'all. To me, that's just comes off as like you really got some balls doing something like that. That would be equal to like Pulev, because you guys know like a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, Pulev and Kaunaki name was coming up together as a possible fight, and I know they were basing all that off of what was going to happen between AJ and Ruiz, but now Pulev is being looked at as the very next opponent for AJ for his IBF title shot. Now that would be like AJ saying, "All right, we're going to fight," and I'm just making up a date, June, right? And Pulev still, all right, and Pulev says, "Okay, I'm still follow through. We're trying to fight Kaunaki in February." Like that'd be some balls, man. Like you know what I mean, based on their styles, and could be a tough fight for you, man. But let me see here. My man Ronald Finkley says, "Respect Mr. Boxing today too. New media boxing stays on point." Yes, indeed. I am ill. Will says Ruiz will learn from this. Hopefully he does, man. I'm not too much on him as far as his conditioning because he's always fought big. You know what I mean? He turned pro at 300 pounds or 297 or something like that. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt, man, because going into all his big, and that's another thing, guys. Going into this is why another thing why I was just basing my opinion off just logic and what his tendencies were. Okay, now also logic would tell you that you will come into the biggest fight of your career not weighing more that you did the previous time, although it was heavyweights. But what I will say is this, and maybe it hindered him from performing better. But I'm just going off his history, okay? When he fought Joseph Parker, he came into the Parker fight heavier than what he was the previous fight. When he fought AJ the first time, he came in weighing heavier than what he weighed the previous fight against Dimitrenko. 262 for Dimitrenko, 268 for AJ. And then his weights for the Parker fight, I can look it up really quick. But so that's why I was going like, oh, this is him just being. And then when he weighed in, I didn't think he was the full 15 pounds more. I didn't think he was a full 283. I thought he was probably more about 275, 276 maybe, because he had on the big ass hat, the sweatpants. I think did he have his shoes on? I don't know. Probably had something in his pocket. I just thought it was a few more. You guys know sometimes where a scale, you can throw a scale off when you have those things on. Yes, the items themselves might not weigh as much, but you guys know how scales are, man. You can throw it off wearing the slightest thing. You can literally sometimes step on a scale, weigh 225, literally, y'all, take a piss and weigh 223 and a half after the piss. I've done it. You know what I mean? So little things can throw scales off. But I didn't think he weighed the full 283. But with that said, though, man, now he's coming out with his excuses that he didn't train, he wasn't in shape. But leading up to the fight, he said, I had a great camp. I know Stephen Shaw spent like 3 or 4 weeks with him in camp. I know Gerald Washington got some camp time in with him. He looked phenomenal on the mitts on that Thursday workout they had a couple days before the fight. Looked fast, looked strong, looked explosive, and went in there and got it handed to him, man. AJ went in there and did what he had to do to win the fight. Outbox him from the outside. But hopefully he does learn from it, though, man. Let me see. October 4th says, I have been hearing that several trainers have passed on Ruiz for being notorious for skipping training days and going half-ass in the gym. Wonder if it's true. Ooh, yeah, shit, I wonder too, man. I wonder if it's true as well. But when I heard he was trying to train himself, I was like, whoa, hell no. Like, what? But this next fight, we're really gonna see where Ruiz is at. Is he just kind of, if Ruiz is in a position where he has the mindset like a Maidana, how Maidana, he had those two Mayweather fights, and he was like, shit, I'm good. Went back to his country, you know what I mean? Made some investments. Like, but Madonna's like, I'm good for life. Now I don't even need boxing. I know he's coming back. He'll come back and train, then he out of it again. They come back and train again. So I'm not sure what Madonna's gonna do. But if Ruiz has that mindset, just chill there, man. Just invest your money and just kick back. If that's because you giving us, if you think you gave us enough, and you want to call it a day, then call it a day, man. But do it because you want to become champion again. Just don't do it just to do it, to appease no fans. You got to start with you. And if you really don't want this, bro, you want to, you feel like I've made it, won the first fight. First of all, you stepped into the first fight making a nice little pretty penny. You know what I mean? And then I know you really got compensated for the rematch. So if you know what to do with that type of money, you good, man. Really, honestly, you're good. Um, but it's up to Andy, though, man. It's going to start with him, regardless of what trainer he has or what he was notorious for. It's going to start with him. Garugara says, Michael Hunter interview. Yes, yeah, Michael Hunter was another one that was in one of his camp or in his camp. But anyways, he says Michael Hunter interview yesterday on TBV, the Boxing Voice. He said Ruiz was exceptionally good in sparring. It seemed like he was training fine in camp. I'll believe it because when I did see little clips of him, man, he's always looked fast and explosive, moving his head, moving his. So then when he got in there with Joshua, man, he just looked plodding, slow. You can credit AJ for making him look that way as well, but he just looked plodding, slow. Just seemed like a guy that was like, "Look, I'm gonna go 12, so you're not gonna knock me out. I won the first fight." Like he started to seem like that guy as the fight went on. Like he just didn't seem to want to go for broke, nothing. You know, and it wasn't like he was getting like beat out of him. Like more like he was getting beat from pillar to post, getting knocked down, and getting just. He did get caught with some very good shots. AJ did land some good shots on him, some good right hands. But he just didn't seem to just step on the gas and say, "Fuck, I'm just gonna go for broke, whether I get knocked out or not." Like that side of him didn't come out, and he usually shows that side in all his fights. Yeah, pretty much all of them. Even though he lost to Parker, he was still trying to come forward on Parker. With this one, he was coming forward, but he wasn't throwing anything. He was like waiting for the perfect moment. And this is a guy that let his hands go, and he's always in punching position. But maybe he felt as if AJ was too far away, and he was worried about getting countered. I have no idea what Andy was thinking. Ron Finkley says you can't play boxing. You certainly can't. He also says smiling and getting an extra bag from Eddie Hearns. Fuck out of here, Ruiz. Start over. Uh, Ron Finkel said he lost 100. He said that boy thought he was famous. He lost $100 gambling on him. Mala2243 says good interview with Ruiz's father on Boxing Social. I got to check that one out, man. But hey, y'all, I'm gonna jump up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all joining me, man. Until next time, y'all be easy. I'm gone.